And if the Knicks lose tonight, it's literally because of Donald Trump. There's no other reason for it. It's just Donald Trump. There's no other reason. So up right now. New York as a city is so goddamn up right now. Donald Trump is coming in to fucking deliver the worst kind of juju.
Well, sorry to the Knicks fans, but we told you in the last video that Trump wins either way, because either the Knicks win, in which case, thank you, President Trump, or that New York crowd boos Trump, and then the Knicks lose because they booed President Trump. And it seems as if the latter has happened. Now, granted, in total fairness, I wouldn't necessarily call the crowd reaction tonight overwhelming boos. It was more of a mixed reaction, but still, let's not get in the way of a good narrative, right? The Knicks lost tonight because the woke New York fans booed President Trump. That is the power of President Trump. You know, he stood at the top of the arena like the Roman emperor, and as he watched as those peasants, that New York trash, the scum and villainy turned on him, he put the thumb down and it was over for the Knicks. He turned heel. He is literally Shawn Michaels in Montreal, and we called it. But nonetheless, let's break this down in today's video, because we'll first of all talk about the highly discussed crowd reaction that he got. And I'm again going to say, I actually don't think it hurts his image that he went into a city that pretty vocally hates him and got booed and like soaked it in. I thought it was actually powerful. It had aura, you know, it was final boss energy, ultimate heel heat. Pro wrestling fans will know what that means. And that's exactly what it was, right? As well as apparently the reaction of some of the Knicks fans tonight, where they're going out and starting riots. Now, we would like to think to ourselves, it'd be hilarious if they're rioting because they're angry about President Trump. But in reality, I think it has a lot more to do with just the general moral character of the exact people who, you know, are pissed off that Trump is there, and it tells you a lot. So let's get into all of these things. But yeah, long story short, what happened tonight? Trump shows up to Madison Square Garden for the game. The fans boo him, kind of, but, you know, that's the part people are talking about most, the part where they booed. Again, we're going to run with that. And then they lost. There you go. The Trump curse is real. You know, have you noticed anyone who goes against him, they always end up losing, whether that's Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, the Democrats, or the New York Knicks fan base. There you go, right? Anyways, though, let's get into this. First, though, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is the best way to support our work, and it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And that said, so first of all, let's address, right, when the national anthem was going on and the camera panned to Trump saluting the crowd, you definitely did hear some boos, expectedly, from New Yorkers who not only hate Trump, but clearly booing during the national anthem. A bunch of classless people who are not very respectful to the country as a whole either. But that's what happened. Check it out for yourself. And of course, we'll discuss this because, again, I don't actually think this makes Trump look bad. At least in my eyes, I thought Trump became like 100 times cooler in this moment, frankly. But
and bright stars through the perilous fire.
Now, look, is it exactly surprising that Trump was getting booed in New York? No. Was this expected? Yes. Is it also true that he later on got some cheers in his favor? Also, yes. But I'm just going to be honest. That was awesome. Okay, that was literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. And to explain why, I'm sorry to do all the pro wrestling references, but I started watching it again like 2 months ago, and now wrestling psychology just consumes my head like it did when I was a teenager. But no, in all seriousness, this is the perfect moment to apply it, and the wrestling fans will know this is heel energy. This is aura. He looks so powerful up there, right? Because think about what he did. Going into a city that he knows hates his guts, they despise him, and he goes there, he's on top of the arena, like the final boss, like the emperor, right? Like the super villain, and they're all just boo, and he's soaking it in. He's smiling, and that's what I said he has to do in the last video, right? Before this even happened, I said when they boo him, he has to just stand there like a pro wrestling heel and soak it in, and that's exactly what happened, right? So, to an extent, do you want that to be happening all the time? Obviously, if you're the president, no. Are Democrats gonna laud that as a political victory? Sure. But I'll just be honest, I thought that was awesome, right? It literally just made him look like the super boss, right? The mega heel of all heels. And you look at some of these shots, I mean, just look at that, right? Imagine he's standing there saluting on top. Same situation with this picture right here. And as I said, to carry into the heel stuff, those peasants, that trashy crowd is there, boo, and you have your super boss on top, right? And I'm generally the type of guy who likes to cheer for the heels. So for me, I thought that was honestly awesome. And, I'm actually kind of regretful. I wish they booed him more because it was just sort of adding to the energy, okay, how cool he was here. And as I said, he basically did the heel turn on New York because he shows up and their team loses and they're angry, they're seething, and he's just standing on top of the arena, literally aura farming. I mean, there you go. That's how you do it. It's like, that's awesome. And people who don't get it, I don't know what to say. You just don't get it, okay? All of us, though, we understand there's something so cool about being the supervillain, and Trump just did it tonight, and it was phenomenal, okay? Just made him 10 times cooler, in my opinion. But all of that in mind, I think it is also worth noting that, in fairness, when you listen to some of the crowd reactions, it actually sounds a lot more mixed than sort of this universal boo. Now, again, we don't care either way because we're running with the narrative that they lost because they booed him. But still, in fairness, I mean, we'd point out, hey, take a listen to this.
Tonight, President Donald Trump becomes the first sitting United States president to attend.
So yeah, in total fairness, it does appear that he did get cheered at least at one point, and after the national anthem, the USA chants begin to break out, and he's joining in them and all that. But still, at the same time, again, you're going into a city that hates you, you're going to get booed. As I said, you just got to lean into it. And that image of Trump smirking as it's happening, just sort of laughing it off, it's so powerful. And don't get me wrong, I think most politicians couldn't get away with that, right? Most politicians, if they're getting booed, it just looks embarrassing for them. But yeah, when you're as powerful and you just command that much leadership and aura that Trump naturally does, and then you're getting booed, as I said, it's super boss energy, it's final boss energy, it's super villain energy, it's the mega heel of mega heels, right? That's what it was. And, frankly, I appreciated that. Now, all of that in mind, talking about the basketball, so of course the Spurs ended up beating the Knicks tonight, and preemptively, and now even postemptively, if that's a word, we did have obviously a bunch of leftist New York fans like Hakeem Jeffries in the prior video, but even Hasan Piker today, jokingly or not, did come out and say that if the Knicks lose tonight, it is obviously Trump's fault. So there you go. Hey, we're owning that too. You lost because of Trump. How does it feel?
I'm telling you, bro, if the Knicks lose tonight, it's literally because of Donald Trump. There's no other reason for it. It's not because like Wemby locked in, okay? It's not because they found a way to fucking defeat the Knicks defense. It's not because they were able to stop the Knicks offense. It's just Donald Trump. There's no other reason for this to take place. They're so up right now. New York as a city is so goddamn up right now. Donald Trump is coming in to fucking deliver the worst kind of juju. The real fucking five-head script here is Adam Silver's doing this to extend the finals. You know what I mean? Adam Silver was like, we bring in the vibes assassin Donald Trump, and he just like fucks everything up.
Now, we could easily just say that he's joking, but frankly, it's not a joke. No, you guys lost tonight because you booed Trump. That's a fact. That's just a fact. That's actually objectively true, okay? You booed your emperor. You did not pay respects to your emperor, and you peasants got exactly what you deserved. You got what was coming to you, which was the New York Knicks losing. We tried to warn you, You should not have doubted his power, okay? President Trump, it turns out, was more powerful than Danhausen. If you know, you know. And that's the outcome. That's what you get. Anyways, it doesn't stop there. Van Jones tonight, as the game is ongoing, is just absolutely seething about Trump being there, claiming he killed all the good vibes that New York had. We were having so much fun, and why do you have to come around and ruin it? Again, because he's the mega heel that you trash peasants deserve. I'm just saying.
It's a pretty loud boo during the national anthem. Not exactly surprising in New York City, as we talked about blue cities a moment ago.
Nobody wanted him here. And the reason why is not what people don't think, oh, it's a blue city and people don't like Trump. That's very true. But it's because it's been so fun. Listen, the scariest thing I've ever seen is New Yorkers smiling. It's like, what the hell is happening in this city? People are walking around, they're smiling, they're happy. And, you know, and all around Madison Square Garden has been this ongoing kind of party atmosphere. And here comes President Buzzkill. Everybody's got to leave. They put up the fences and everything, and it sucks. And people were planning to be out because you can't pay the $10,000 to go inside, but you can be on the outside and have a ball. No, because President Buzzkill is more interested.
What about people who say Obama went to the game in Toronto?
Nobody's ever gone to a finals game. No sitting president's ever gone to a finals game, number one. And number two, people like Obama. So it's different.
Now, I was literally about to say that remembering how especially media was during the Obama years, if Obama showed up to an NBA finals game, they would not stop glazing it. Oh, he's so cool, best president ever. But then Van Jones quite literally just said it for me, right? Oh, well, people liked Obama. I don't know, you liked Obama, but still, your point was that it's not about the politics. His claim is that, oh, well, because Trump was at Madison Square Garden and there's a bunch of people kind of having a watch party outside, Secret Service had to clear out the area. As if that would not have also happened under Obama. You know, what exactly is the argument there? Still, regardless, though, oh, he killed our fun. He ruined the buzzkill. He was a buzzkill. He ruined the fun that New York was having. Yeah, good. Good. That's what you guys get. I'm leaning into it, okay? I'm going to play the heel as much as President Trump. I don't believe in karma, but you know what I mean there, right? Same concept. What goes around comes around. There you go. There you go. And by the way, you know, I think the saying here also applies to these New York peasants that, well, you know, your boos do not affect me because I've seen what you cheer. Because while the game is going on and after, of course, showing the utter class of the people supposedly just having a watch party, right? Supposedly these people are just standing outside to watch the game and celebrate the Knicks. Would it exactly shock you to find out that it broke out into a full-blown Mamdani-inspired, Democrat-inspired ghetto third world riot? Because that's exactly what we got. And just keep in mind, again, these are the trashy individuals who are booing Trump. I'm just saying. Oh, but according to Van Jones, it's just a bunch of fun-loving, smiling New Yorkers trying to enjoy their team in the game or something like that. Well, I mean, look, first of all, I'm sure there were New Yorkers really there to do that, but this is the consequence of low-trust society. This is why every time you have a supposed quote-unquote block party in the United States of America, it seems like half the time it ends up in a shooting or a fight, right? Because we just generally have people of low impulse control and low quality of character, and this is literally why we can't have nice things, okay? I have no issue with gathering in the streets, for example, to celebrate, you know, your sports team or whatever, but there's always those people who have to ruin it, and then I'm sure Mamdani's going to make excuses for it and claim, oh, it was just some teenagers, right? It was just a teen takeover. It was just some kids play fighting literally in a Royal Rumble or something. It wasn't anything serious. Okay, yeah, sure. Whatever you say. And then, by the way, they question why the Secret Service moved them away from wherever President Trump was going to, you know, send the motorcade through. Well, this is it right here. You guys actually proved him right, because this is the way people are going to act. And, you know, if we can't play this whole video due to YouTube policies, but if you watch this whole thing, it starts as like two people are fighting, and then in very just ghetto thug behavior, a bunch of people just join in the fight. Like, it's literally a Royal Rumble, right? That's what these people think they're doing in real life. And it's like, do you even know the person you're fighting? Do you even have a justified reason to have beef with them? No, they're just freaking violent, right? But again, you know, I did say, I do not really care As someone who has not watched basketball in years, I don't care if the Knicks win. I don't care if the Spurs win at the end of the day. But if President Trump shows up there and curses the Knicks, quote unquote, yes, we're leaning into the heel heat 100%. And yeah, New York, that's what you deserve. I'm playing a character, not seriously. Okay, I don't really care either way, but I'm just saying. So that's the situation. They're so broken by President Trump, they start fighting each other. That's what this is, by the way. They have so much Trump derangement syndrome, they start fighting each other, right? That's why they're throwing hands, totally, 100%. But all right, anyways, there you have it, guys. This was Trump tonight. Okay, this image right here. But let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.